Good day, YouTube. This is Nick with EDC Mag, and today we're going to talk about Hogue knives. I thought I'd move back into the production world briefly. I had a chance to come across these. I thought they might look good on camera. And they are knives that, well, they are both X5s, two different designs. And this is a knife I had at one point early on in my knife collecting, and I loved it. I didn't have a lot of experience with a lot of different knives at that time, and I had it for a while and then let it go to a fellow knife collector. It was kind of his ultimate knife goal, so I had picked it up at a great price, so I passed it on to him for the same deal. And I've always liked them, so I thought, hey, let's do something in the production world. Real quick, I want to do something quick because since I'm talking about two knives, I don't know if you guys have ever been on Amazon. I'm sure you have. Amazon, eBay. Looking at key organizers. I came across these in a box. I grab one of these occasionally. I don't know a whole lot about them. They're made by a company called Hephis, and that's Hephis. If you've ever seen these, they're for key fobs, they're for a keychain to organize your keys, and then they're also a popper. I was digging around trying to find this one just because it's football season, so I thought I'd dig it out, and I forgot I actually had all three of these, but China made, I assume. They're not expensive, just something a little different. I never ended up using them just because I decided I wanted less metal in my pocket. I don't carry anything in the pocket that I have my knife in, because I certainly don't want my keys banging up my knife. So, but they're kind of neat. The design is very unique on these. Just something different. If you've ever seen them and thought, that's different, well, now you've seen one in hand. You know what they look like. For the money, they're kind of neat. I do like the unique designs on them. So, it's football season. It's finally here. Alright, enough of that crap. Let's talk about Hogue. Now, if you're a gun guy, you probably know who Hogue is already. They make a lot of stuff for guns, grips, stocks, different accessories. They make tactical gear. They actually even have a line of heated toilet seats, which I was unaware of. But hey, you know, at my age, that kind of stuff's important. So have not explored that yet, but hey, why not? Hogue's been around since 1968. They started making knives in 2010. Some of their knife design, most of their knife designs actually for me are just, they're okay, they're nice. I mean, they're all USA made. Hogue is a family owned company, just awesome people. Actually, right now, if you look at the date that I'm going to release this video, it's towards the middle of August 2019. Knives Illustrated this week is, they are, in this total coincidence, but they're doing a I guess week-long kind of feature on Hogue knives. So if you get a chance, check that out on Instagram or knivesillustrated.com. I just saw that this morning, but neat family, very cool. These knives are an Alan Elischwitz, Alan Elischwitz design. Alan is a very well-known knife maker. He makes some really cool, unique stuff, cool designs, custom knives, and he's a good old boy out of Texas, so it doesn't get more American than that. Knife maker out of Texas. What more can you ask for? These knives, man, they're production knives, but man, they are just so cool. Let's start, well, okay, let's go with the similarities. They're both CPM 154, aluminum frame. They are a reversible carry, so you can reverse this clip. If you only have, let's say you pick up one secondhand like I did, and you're a left-handed guy, for like 10-12 bucks on the Hogue website, they are in stock, you can buy the left-handed clip so that it does follow the curve appropriately if you want to switch it over. Obviously they are tip-up carry. Why these things are painted, oh well, yeah, they're Cerakoted. Why, I don't know. That's the first thing that wears on a knife, is any kind of painted clip. But again, if you want to change that, it's very easy from the Hogue website. So you can always go with a clip like this that's not going to show wear nearly as much. So let's talk about these two individually. The X5 that I have, and these two, they're both X5s. This is the EX A05, and this is just the X5. Between the two of these, there are well over 20 different variations in size and color. There's just something for everyone. It's pretty cool, actually. This particular one is black Cerakoted, the X5. It has what they call a G Mascus, which, pretty creative. It's basically it's G10, kind of looks like Timascus, sorta. So they call it G Mascus. These come in OD green, in the tan, and then they have a special Sig Sauer edition with some really neat color options. They're all basically X5, just Sig Sauer special, or yeah, Sig Sauer special edition. So very neat. Now these come also in an auto and a manual. I've never been much of an auto guy because I feel like I feel like it takes me out of the involvement of the knife. It's like the knife's doing all the work, and I know they look cool on TV. So what I've got here is a manual and an auto, and man, that sucker fires hard, and 3.5, 4 inch. So a nice variation of what the X5s are and what they can do. So let's talk about the X5 here. Aluminum frame, two-piece design. So rather than having a spacer, you've got the two-piece coming to form the frame in the back. Man, these knives are smooth. Here I was trying to, they're button lock, and you know they look the same whether it's an auto or not. When I got my first X5, I don't remember the color combo. It was 4 inch. They hadn't come out with the autos yet, and after I got it, they just started coming out with the autos, and you can't really tell a difference. They look the same either way as far as the configuration goes. They do have a button lock on them, which I don't know. I mean, it's fine. I like the fact that you can choose to use it or not. So when you lock, or you can lock it open, obviously, and it's not going anywhere. And you can close it. This one, it's got a phenomenal detent on it. I like the fact that it doesn't fall all the way shut, just in case. Lord knows, actually, this one here, I was fiddling around when I first got it. I don't know where it is, but it took a chunk out of me the other day. That's what you get for not paying attention. You can't fix stupid, right? Stupid is expensive. You heard it here first. Anyway, it's got a great detent on it. It's got the button lock, and it's got this manual lock, but you don't have to use this. You can just sit there and look pretty. You can leave it off. It doesn't lock every time it shuts, so then you have to go for it and mess with it first. You can pull this thing out, leave that off, and you're always good to go. If you want this out and you're doing some hard labor with it, you can lock that for a little extra added peace of mind. The other cool thing about this big 4-inch is that I really like is how light it is and how flat it is. This thing is really flat and it carries so well in your pocket. I mean, yeah, it's a 4-inch knife, but man, it just lays so flat. It's so easy to carry. You do not feel like you're carrying a 4-inch blade in your pocket. And these clips are, just due to the design, you can't really go too deep as far as deep carry with it. I mean, I guess you could. I know they do have some deep carry clip options for some of their other models. I don't think they do for this one, but they might. That would have to, you know, that clip would have to come way back here. But for me, it's a non-issue. But you know, you've got a good place for a huge ass lanyard if that's your thing. This is pretty cool, this insert. Just a really cool knife, man. CPM 154. Fantastic steel. Let's see what this thing weighs. I could have looked on the website. I mean, this is a production knife, so you can always look it up. But let's see what this 4-inch knife. 5.5 ounces. And that's just great for a 5 ounce or for a 4-inch knife. 5.5 ounces in your pocket. That's a beautiful 4-inch blade right there. As long as we got the scale out, 3.5-inch blade. Let's check it out. So you got 1/2 inch less of steel, and you got about 1 ounce less, 4.5 ounces of weight. I'd say the math adds up. All right, so got the manual, which this comes in multiple colors. Does come in an auto, if that's your thing. A lot of different designs. Satin blade as well as the Cerakote. As far as in your hand, man, this thing is just perfect. I mean, your hand just goes right where it's supposed to. It's just, man, it's beautiful. And I don't get this excited over production knives very often. And this is not a new knife. There's 100 other reviews out there. This is just another one. But I love the way this, you know, there's no jimping on this, but you just don't need it. The way you've got that lip. I mean, you can just bear down. And this thing is tall enough to where it will fill your hand. You're not going to lose this knife in your hand, which is a big issue for me. Something that I bitch about probably way too much. But, you know, if you want to deploy this knife, you don't need to position it first. This knife's good to go. It's a little bit... I wish they would add a thumb stud. This has just a phenomenal thumb stud ramp. I mean, just perfect. I would love to have a thumb stud on this knife, but you know, what are you gonna do? It's a Whibney. In the IT world, that stands for "Wouldn't it be nice if?" But you know, that's just my personal preference. Man, this thing is stunning. I don't see a whole lot of them out on the market. I don't see a lot of them out there, and I don't know why, because, you know, if you pull the trigger on this thing, they go anywhere between 180 to 230, depending on the configuration and what you get. But like I said, there's over 20 different configurations. USA made. I mean, that's a phenomenal price for this knife. It really is. USA made, $220, 4-inch CPM 154 aluminum. That's awesome, man. You can't beat this. You know, if you like this design, and I just think it's fantastic. All right, and so we've got the other design, the EX-A05, and it's a little bit more unique. You know, that's definitely an Elishewitz thing right there. They call it a Wharncliffe. I don't know how practical it is. I mean, you know, but the one thing, well, there are several things I like about this knife outside of, you know, just the everything I talked about on that knife, the aluminum frame. Definitely prefer the uncoated clip. If you're into, it's got the button lock that you can or choose not to use. It fires hard, no question about it. I mean, phenomenal knife. Now this one is, there you go, Elshwitz. My apologies for butchering your name, but I'm sure you'll never see this. Just fantastic. I love the color on this. It's almost like a champagne. Killer, man. 3.5 inch. I definitely prefer the 4 inch, but you know, hey, it does fit in your hand well. It's a little bit light down here for me. Depends on the size of your hand, but it has that same definite, you know, overall design, just a little smaller. So depending on the size of your hand, your preference, you know, you might prefer this. 4.5 ounces, definitely a unique blade design. I dig these things, I really do. For production knife, it's hard to beat these. And in the price range, even brand new, bam. I mean, it's a knife. That's a knife you carry around and you know, don't worry about. I mean, if it came down to it, hell, you could break this thing down and shoot it with whatever you wanted to, and it'd look new again. I have not taken one of these out and abused it enough to know how resilient these are, but I have a feeling, man, these things would just take a beating. And Hogue's an awesome company. Unless you were doing something really stupid that didn't warrant a replacement, I'm sure if you sent it in to them, my guess is they would take care of you. So there you go, guys. Hogue X5. You got both versions, manual and auto. Got the Wharncliffe and the spear point. Beautiful knives, highly recommend if you get a chance. If you're on the fence, if you've never handled one and you're like, you know, they sure as hell don't sell them anywhere around where I live, that's for sure. So it's not like I could go play with one somewhere. I say pull the trigger. If you're on the fence and you're just not sure, man, these things are nice. They really are. American made for that money. That is a very beautiful, well done, ergonomically efficient, beautiful blade. Well, there you go, guys. I appreciate you guys watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do. We're just getting started. We're having a lot of fun. If there's anything you want to see or anything, suggestions you'd like to make, please feel free. This is Nick with EDC Mag. Till next time, have a good one.